Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ironside cast. We have a free for you all here on the Golden Fields. This is on the Eastern Front. Let's go for the players. Represent the Axis today. We have Alpha Skitari as Strafdivision for die Wehrmacht. We have Theo as the Waffen-SS without a command choice. And Alucard also as the Waffen-SS without a command choice. So I guess the Wehrmacht Strafdivision is ought to hold the southern flank as the Waffen-SS pushes north. Representing the Soviets today, we have Leneres as well, obviously the Soviet Union, but without a commander. We have Smokey as Tank Division straight at the gate. And finally, you have Kakaboo as Shock Division. Well, this should be an interesting one. Troops are pushing out here quickly and securing ground. Trying to get all the ground they can. And we already have an early engagement here. Sappers are encountering the Storm Pioneers at the center. But the Sappers also have some conscripts for support, so I think the Storm Pioneers are holding pretty damn well here behind this tractor. But now they are starting to get hit by the rifles. But they got some good damage into the conscripts there. The rest of the Waffen-SS is slowly advancing. Conscripts are getting mowed down to, well, being killed to the last man, as you can see. You have some Fontoviki coming up as well. More experienced infantry. Grenadiers of the Strafdivision are now encountering the Sappers in the southern flank. Well, technically these are not Straftroops, these are Ersatztruppen, so reserve troops. Gonna have a long cover-to-cover fight down here, which is to the Germans' advantage, I reckon. Well, this is kind of medium range, so the Sappers might have an advantage somewhat with the pistol there. Conscripts also coming up. Looks like one of the Waffen-SS players has gone for Panzer Division. They don't want to start going for anything yet. Jock up there still. Still the commander on the southern flank. They are slowly being killed here now by the German infantry. Yeah, some talking against each other there. Sappers are trying to push up here. There's a lot of German troops. They did not do much there. Then again, the Russian grenades, unless you upgrade them, are not that potent. If you upgrade them, though, they can get a lot more power in it. Although the conscripts don't get the upgrade, only Fontoviki do. This one. If you upgrade them to the RG3 33 sleeve frag grenades, they do a lot more damage and suppression. Looks like there's some clearing of cover here for the Waffen-SS so they can get more sight lines for the machine gun. Or just other units. This is a victory point game, by the way, but neither side has gone for the victory points. As of yet. Wehrmacht is doing a good job down here, though. There is a lot of good long-range rifles from the Pioneers and the Grenadier. Both sides are keeping an eye up here. Grenade assaults being thrown. Fontoviki doing the best against these mass amount of Waffen-SS troops, including an MG. Yeah, I don't think they're going to survive too long out in the open now. So I changed the noise suppression type. Hopefully this is a little bit better, but we'll see how it works out. It sounded a little bit better to me when I did a test of it, so we'll see. Maxim setting up here. There's some good shots in here on the Grenadiers, Storm Grenadiers rather. Sandbags being laid here in the open road to provide some cover. Brits are trying to get around to get to the point, but the Germans are covering it pretty heavily. Also out in the open does not manage to get thrown. I think both the machine guns can cover each other kinda. Give an early mortar here for the Soviets to help bombard them. Just need to zero in on them. That one victory point is gonna come into Soviet hands. But some Grenadiers with an MG42 is going to try and stop it. Running out here. What's that? The Soviets will take the point, though. They need to prevent the Germans from just moving on to it. There are some Sappers nearby. And this is a lone Grenadier squad. So that seems to be somewhat cautious with its movements. Center point could be in German hands soon, but they're focusing on flanking first, which is probably smart. They got some sights here in the mortar team. And the Maxim. Who gets suppressed though. And pins. And now they just have to get out there. We have the southern flank. We do have the Germans trying to sit up here to try and take it back. Or we'll take the point. They even have a Leutnant present from the Volksgrenadier they've shown to oversee the fighting. Maxim is suppressing the Grenadiers though. Yeah, I don't think the Germans gonna have this firefight. We have some Straftroopen coming up behind us though. German penal troops basically. Good to see a victory point game though. I prefer to see victory point games. They usually don't run as long as normal matches, which is fine by me. Means I don't have to strain my voice for like an hour or something. Or sometimes an hour and a half. Ugh. I've been using my voice a lot more for voice acting in recordings that aren't out yet, but you'll see them in the future. That's what I've been using Audacity for. Oh wait, yeah. If you saw the last video, I talked a little bit about Audacity and how that's affected my microphone for some reason, despite me not using Audacity to record these in OBS, so that's always a little bit weird. Ooh, for Taviki in the center here. Yeah, that MG is gonna set up. Actually, the crew might just kill him. Yep. But a grenade does get thrown. Which does some kind of damage, at least. The southern point is somehow in German hands, though. But for how long? Well, the Germans have a good position here still. With all the Straftroopen pioneers and the Leutnant motivating them. Shouting orders and everything from his little bush. You know, the Germans are securing the little village here. And a stolen DPM here on the Stone Pioneers. And that building's getting cut to pieces by all these bullets. That sapper's not gonna get out there. There's some guards arriving, but they are not gonna be in the best position. Getting inside the building that quick. And on the Soviet northern flank, they have to set up an HQ. But they can't really advance because the MG is covering the point. Soviets are preparing for some kind of push down here, I reckon. There's a lack of German machine guns, so but there are some MP40s still around. Until they've been calling here by the Leutnant as the Soviets advance. Rain assault from the conscripts. Going in the flamethrower. But we do have a Grenadier with an MG42, but the flamethrower is close. Grenade being thrown as well. More sappers rushing forwards. And the staff troops have managed to get out of suppression. Another Grenadier with an MG42 arriving. And this is nuts. A lot of people are dying over this. Oh, and the Soviets don't even manage to decapture it. Oh my god. Oh, that is gonna sting. That's gonna sting real hard. Soviets are still sitting up here. Setting up their own bunker by the looks of it. It's gonna be a medic bunker so they can heal and reinforce and retreat to it. What are arriving here for the Germans? You have a command choice? Yes, we do. That is Sturm. Okay, that's going to be a very dangerous late game. Oh, they're using smoke so they can try and take the point themselves. I don't think Panzerjägers can... Oh! He's got a Gebalderladung, isn't he? Oh, that's a smoke grenade and then a Gebalderladung. Oh god, that's actually pretty smart. That Gebalderladung did actually not do that much. I guess the haystack kind of prevented it. But most grenades being used to Sturm Grenadiers, Pioneers are ready to move up. Is this gonna run me down here? We have an MG34 just covering these little fields. Mines being laid on the road. Tiller mines. The conscripts did spot is now the service needs to remember there's a tiller mine on that road. And both sides are gonna fight for this point for a while, aren't they? Siskan is arriving, which can serve as an artillery piece for the Soviet Union. Looks like every Soviet player has a Siskan at this point, and are using them as artillery pieces. We have a motorized assault, which is not going to do well against the pack down here. Oh, they're just moving it for transporting. Good to see. Get them to the front and back quicker. You have a baby tiger coming out. Unique to Staff Division. Barely see it. Good to see it being used though. This gun is opening fire now on the Mthis positions. Man tank pushing forwards here. Oh, destroying the Maxim there with one shot, but there's assist gun. Injuring the loader. Forcing the command tank back. So it's preparing an assault down here. Oh, if the assist gun just hits a little bit closer, but the Soviets are still assaulting. Conscripts are rushing out. And then the sappers coming up behind. This is very well played, like they're doing it in layers. Layers, like the skin of an ogre, which is like an onion. I need to eat something with onions later. Ooh, the flamethrower is really showing itself here. It's rare to see people use flamethrowers, but they are actually pretty good at assaulting a position if you can get them close, as you can see, because it just ignores the cover. But here's the baby tiger. But there is a tank on the squad which can use a captive panzer, and the flamethrower is stunning the tank. Good play here from Lenaris. But the baby tiger is very frontally armored. But it goes out anyway. Good play there from Lenaris. But the Storm Grenadiers are flanking. They're gonna try and take out this mortar team. Oh, and that's not good. I mean, oh, they're getting cut to pieces by the Storm Pioneers. They're rushing down here with Sturmgewehrs. That's a mobile assault force. That's a little bit too powerful in this assault force. They're just overrunning the Soviets down here with a flank after the Wehrmacht collapsed. Oh, Lenaris is losing a lot of units. Oh, this is painful. Oh, while this is going on, the Soviets are trying to assault on the northern flank with T-34s and flamethrowers. About the Ladno. Killing most of the sappers. Panzerfaust could be used here. Pack fails to penetrate. And T-34 gets taken out. But not before the Soviets do manage to actually capture the point up here. And the Soviets are still got a Maxim keeping an eye on this point. But more German infantry is arriving. Command tank now down here. In a truck. Man, so much action today. This is proper Eastern Front action right here, and I love it. This is the thing we are not going to get in Common Heroes 3, unfortunately, because, you know, the Eastern Front is not present in that game. And I do like Eastern Front battles. They get so freaking hectic, because the Soviets can be so aggressive as a faction with so many numbers. And in utility, they can just do basically everything, and the Germans just have to keep fighting continuously, as they slowly get attrition down by them. There's some motor guards here. That machine gun team is not going to last long, I reckon. There's only one guy left. There he goes. The man tank did a lot of work down here, and the Germans are now fortifying with the staff troops and mines. We're trying to get this position operational. But the Soviets have secured the village now. Or what's left of it. Motor guards do have Panzerfaust, I believe, so that Panzer IV has to be cautious. Soviets actually really used a lot of captured Panzerfaust, but they didn't actually use them that much for anti-tank purposes, I believe. They used them for garrison purposes. As in they would hit a occupied enemy structure, like a garrison structure. We also have some shock troops up here armed entirely with PPSHs. But they cannot really approach here easily. Are they winning in ambush? Oh, they are. They might actually see if they can take out all these Storm Pioneers. But the machine gun suppresses them, so that they have to pull back. And the Soviets hold this position. There's a lack of troops up here now. About the Ladnung. Not doing that much actually. Those haystacks actually helping a lot. More grenades also being thrown out. So shock troops do their best to try and suppress with their PPSHs. But it looks like the Germans do have to fall back. Cannot keep that fight going. Now, the Wehrmacht are fortifying quite heavily. They even brought out a Lastwache in here to help replenish at the front line. We also have a heavy mortar here. Copied immediately from the Russian one. They're able to stuff division. You also have a Hauptmann on the field. The Germans are sending a lot of their officers here to keep an eye on things. E-34 arriving here for the southern flank of the Soviet Union. The village is falling into German hands again, but the Maxim is keeping an eye on the points. But the point is in German hands. Shock troops are trying to dig in, which might be risky because here comes the Sturm Pioneers. Oh, that's not good. Shock troopers, they're pinned. The battle Ladnung is being thrown. Oh, that's painful. Well, shock troopers are arriving though. They don't have their PPSHs. They probably cannot afford the munitions at the moment. But shock troopers are still pretty competent with their SVTs. But the mortar shells are landing now. Ooh. Shock troopers are very costly though. They are probably the most expensive combat infantry in the game. That's not like a commando tier. Panzer IV assaulting down here. All down artillery there from the Wehrmacht. As the Ersatztruppen trying to grab all the equipment they can. And the Germans seem to have the upper hand right now. The Soviets are one of the factions that are best at making a comeback. Like, look at this. 3 T-34s with tank riders. I think the Soviets are going to try and over-assault on the point. And just drive through the Germans. Here's something the Soviets can do. I've seen it happen before. Ooh, that was a shock troop that got killed entirely by a Gewalterladnung. Ooh. Here comes the Sturm Pioneers pushing forward with the Sturmgewehrs again. And also the stolen DPM, as you can see. But here comes the T-34s, and I don't think the Sturm Pioneers have anything to stop this. And they see that they immediately decide, we have to get out of here. But the Soviets just need to keep pushing forwards here. And they're just driving forwards. Oh my god, I don't think the Germans can hold this. They might be able to. Yeah, they're inching a lot of the drivers now. Tank riders jumping off the tanks. As the tanks do get destroyed, cleared out. And all T-34s have been taken out. And the Sturm Pioneers ready to move up again, but they might have bought the... So it's a little bit of time, but not enough. Yeah, I don't think the Soviets can hold this position, because here comes the Sturm Pioneers with the Sturmgewehrs again. They just don't have the time to build a trench. Building a trench takes a while. We have a Maxim coming up to try and keep them at bay. Maxim setting up. And once that sets up, the Sturm Pioneers have to pull back. And well, the Germans are assaulting through the center. We have a heavy mortar arriving here as well. KV-1 arriving. Did they go her commander? Oh, they went for rifle. Okay, rifle versus stuff down here. Now, the Soviets need to remember there's still a Teller mine on the road. Depends on where they want to deploy the KV-1. Also an SU-76 coming up behind it. More mines being laid, good to see. Good usage of the Straftrupps. Laying a Teller mine down here. They make basically this entire area a death trap to move through, which is exactly what the Germans would do. They actually finally got the trench up, which will make it harder for the Germans to assault. That's not looking good for the Soviets. They're suffering very heavy losses here. So any Teller mines, Regal mines here? No, just S mines, which the KV-1 can just drive over. KV-1 is a little bit armored here. Oh, a little bit. It's actually quite armored. Well, they removed the stat icon thing down here, which is unfortunate. That's the thing I do like about Company of Heroes 3. There's actually the stats always down there. You can always check them, armor-wise. Some Ostwind up here. Let's see, the Ostwind is causing issues here. That's what charge is thrown. Oh, it's gonna force it forward into the Sys guns. But this, it might still get away due to the smoke and the fact that Sys went up position right. No, it doesn't. Shock troops are gonna try and take the point now. Maybe the KV-1 is assaulting down here. That's actually a captured Sys. SC-76 with high explosive for supports, I think. It's a bit cautious though, because the Germans can still flank here. And he is pushing forward with a Panzerfaust, but they get stopped by the SU. SC-76 taken out. But a command tank cannot fight a KV-1, I think. The arm on the KV-1 is just too high. We also have a Panther tank now, so this is going to be very painful for the Soviet Union. Because the Panther tank is pretty damn potent. Oh damn it, they tried to to try and overcharge it. That did not really work. It can backfire. And now they got hit by a Panzer strike from the building. Panther's flanking. And there goes the KV-1. You have a KV-8 flamethrower tank arriving on the northern flank. The Soviets need to bring up more stuff. Is the Shock Army holding on for an IS-2? I suppose it is one thing you can do, but I'm not sure it's the smartest in this situation. There's just a lack of units up here. Like they're losing a lot of troops trying to just fight here. You also have a howitzer being set up here by these Germans, so this could be a problem. And they're also almost outside one of the Soviet bases. They're actually shooting into the Soviet base. Well, this is going on. A KV-8 is assaulting the center. There's some S-mines, which is not really a threat to it. Pack is gonna get flamethrowered. Like the KV-8 is a really dangerous weapon against infantry. But the Panther could just take it out solo, I believe. It was just pointing all the AT equipment towards the KV-8. But the KV-8 is gonna go on a rampage, I think. Yeah, the Panther has to quickly act to try and stop it. Oh, the engine is damaged again. Oh. That's bad luck right there. But they are taking out the gun of that bunker. It's going to be slowed down now. And now the Panther's going to go on for the kill. Yeah, here's the Panther. And the Panther can just take it out. Not a lot of damage this time. Can happen. The KV-1 is a chunky tank. There it goes, though. Well, this is going on. We do have another KV-1 arriving down here. But Germans have been laying mines, I reckon. Not as much, actually. Probably more back here they have. We also have a howitzer being set up by the Staff Division. Looks like we have an artillery fight coming on soon. Germans getting all the artillery support they could ever ask for. High explosive misses. We do have an IS-2 arriving. But will that be enough? Because the Soviets have lost a lot of ground here. Oh! Double mortar kills. I didn't even need the grenades. That was overkill. Some artillery strikes have been calling down the southern flank here. The Soviets are about to collapse, I feel. The Soviets have lost a lot of stuff. More T-54s are being prepared here. It looks like we're going to have another tank rider assault. But the IS-2 is slowly moving forwards. Needs some infantry support, though. You don't want to have the IS-2 out alone. I suppose the infantry support is nearby. Now, the Panther has a decent chance to brawl frontally with an IS-2, but it is still risky, because if the IS-2 loads its armor-piercing round, it could shoot straight through the Panther. Second Panther coming out, they might be able to tag team the IS-2 that way. If they're forced moving up to support. Another forward camp is set up here by the shock troops. So it's trying to do an assault down here. But the Germans got some decent positions, and the artillery strikes just... Excuse me. But the artillery strikes just keep suppressing the Soviet advance. Oh, there's no machine guns not pointed at the conscripts. No, they did at the end. Panther flanking the KV-1. Well, looks like the Panther took a hit from something. Did the KV-1 actually penetrate? It can happen. Very rare, though. Well, this is going on. The Soviets are assaulting en masse up here. Using the T-34s and the IS-2 for support. IS-2 needs to move quick. Now, they could take out this forward HQ here, this armored HQ. They did destroy the optics, or damage the optics of the IS, which will reduce its accuracy. But against a stationary target like that, it might do fine. Yep, they're killing the gunners of it. And the Soviets keep on their advance. You might have a comeback here from the Soviet Union. Panther rushing to the northern front line here. Injuring the drive of the IS. If they force rushing forwards, they want to distract. Oh my god! They're trying to get around the Panther. Unfortunately, the company of there's no side armor profiles. Oh, it was a good distraction though, allowing the IS-2 to pull back safely, I think. What's going on? They're still fighting down here. More assist shots are being fired in. A1 ready to move again. The Soviets can still fight back. They have some teeth. But the Panthers are now on the hunt. They're trying to hunt down the IS. They know it's the only threat against them. But the Soviets have managed to secure the northern victory point because of this, which will slow down their inevitable loss at this point. Unless they can turn this around. Lots of panzer forces here arriving for the Germans. And now the panzers not down here, preventing the KV-1 from causing issues. The panzers are only able to be in one spot at a time. Still 2 Panthers and a command tank working together. With some Stuk support is pretty potent. IS-2 is still being repaired. As it is a heavy tank, it takes a while to repair it. A1 has lost its gun, so it has to pull back for some repairs. The fight continues up here. IS-2 is holding on. Panther is taking some long-range shots. Pinning down the Panzerjägers with the high explosive rounds. Panther pushing forwards. IS-2 is being overrun by a lot of shells. Turret jammed. Germans are doing everything to try and take this IS. The turret is jammed, so it cannot turn the turret. They unjammed it, but it might be too late. But the frontal armor that IS is really holding up. But for how long? If the force are coming up. They pulled the IS-2 all the way back to base, which is probably smart. Those T-34s might just have saved it. They need to pull further back. Just to be sure. But while this is going on, the Soviets have managed to secure a little bit of a village again in the center. As all the armors were just focused on trying to hunt down that IS. Panther attack team turning around. Now the KV-1 is not going to last nearly as long. It does not have the armor value of an IS-2 frontally. They also lost that driver early. Yeah, the Panthers just shoot straight through it. The Soviet picky again? Soviet tank. That's why the T-34s are so cheap. But the Soviets are doing everything they can to repair this IS. Probably realizing it's the only tank they have that can actually do something. You did see how many shields it deflected at the front at the end. Like, the IS-2 is very heavily armored. I believe it's actually the most heavily armored vehicle available to the Allied factions in Company Heroes 2. And I guess a tank that can actually brawl with the heaviest stuff for the most part, but as you see, it only fires high explosives unless you use the armor piercing ability. But now it's repaired. Panthers have been pulled back to just stay near the command tank. IS-2 ready to move out again. Stuks are now arriving on the southern flank for the Wehrmacht. Oh, Panthers were grabbed here by the conscripts. They missed though. That was a very long range shot. Oh, Panthers are going to encounter the IS again. Armor piercing round being loaded. And that's one Panther down. That is the power of the IS. Lost his driver though for a bit. If it was keep pushing. That is some really... Oh my god! Yeah, that's the Soviets for you. They just don't give a shit. IS-2 did not do much there. But the IS-2 is a very potent tank, as you can see. Are they trying to save it for another one? It might be. They could actually soon get a second IS. Panther going for another shot. Needs to be cautious though. The IS is no joke. Service managed to secure an orphan point again, slowing down their loss still. Another Panther being called in. Another KV-1. A second IS has been prepared. Panzerjägers are going to rush forward, which is actually a threat to the IS. Panzerjägers are pretty dangerous. But Maxim covers his flank, which is helping. Need infantry support to cover them. 100mm AT gun also being set up here. Well, mortars are being very effective here. Panther pushing forwards. Explosive hit it, did not do much. Well, the Howitzers is doing a good job. They know the Soviets are building up around here. A1 pushing up. Stuk on the flank though moving. And the Germans are still almost able to actually threaten the Soviet base here. They actually are threatening it somewhat. But I think the Germans realize they need to stop these ISs in some capacity. Oh yeah, they're pushing forwards. 100mm takes out the Stuk. Panzerjägers are hitting the IS though. Oh! Here comes the T-34s again. Oh, they're just driving over the Germans! Oh my god! Oh, the Panther down here. The T-34s are gonna get stopped here by the Panzer. The Contrainite is AT graded. It is immobile. Oh, they have to take it out! IS-2 is still being repaired here. Second IS-2 is on the field. But the Soviets turn this around. They need to act quick though and act decisively if they want to turn this around. Because we have more Sturm... Oh, they're not actually going for a Sturmtiger. I guess they really just can't afford it at the moment. But they moved the Sturmtiger, I'm not sure. But here comes more ISs. Yeah, well, the Wehrmacht is just fortifying the southern flank to hell. It's gonna be impossible for the Soviets to take this southern flank back at some point. Or at least very hard. But on the northern flank, though, could be change. And now the Germans know there's a second IS. And having two ISs working together is really potent. But we have a Stukas, which could insta-kill them if the rockets hit straight on. Oh, that was close. And mobility was heavily damaged too. One more mobility hit and those things are immobilized. Need to get those ISs repaired. But they are still in artillery range and the Germans are just gonna keep pounding them. And the Panthers on the hunt. All needs is one penetration. The 100mm is threatening and covering. They need to pull the ISs further back. They do have a repair station back there. The Germans are still bleeding the Soviet victory points though. The Soviets are not really getting a victory here so far. We're even trying to halt the Germans. The Germans are decisively winning, so to speak. If they can get these IS to somehow make a breakthrough. Oh, the Germans also scavenging. Good to see. Getting them some more resource to work with. SS Panzergrenadiers also in the field. More T-34s being... We're just going to see more T-34s happening, aren't we? Just drank some water. IS-2s need some repairs here, and they are working very fast to repair them. Have specialized repair teams here. But if the Germans could just push into this Soviet base down here, they could kind of just threaten to overrun. And the Soviets are doing their best to just buy time. I think the southern Soviet flank is just hoping they can buy time for the IS-2s to do their thing, but it's not looking that good for the IS-2s at the moment. Have another howitzer going up. More T-34s being prepared. It's not looking good down here. KB-1 got immobilized, or was shocked anyway. And all the heavy shells too. IS-2s are just standing around. But they do need support first. IS-2s are making their move now, splitting up somewhat, but still able to cover each other, I think. The artillery shells are just going to keep landing around them. Good shot with the IS there, clearing out the trench somewhat. That's going to allow the shock troopers to get on the point. Tiger tank called in. Panther got a good shot there on one of the ISs. But armor piercing round destroys it. But the shell, how is the shells doing their best to just keep shelling the Soviet positions? High explosive ice is not going to do much to a Stuk. Although realistically it would kill the crew, but Stuk manages to penetrate. If it forces flanking down here instead. With flamethrower. Oh, this might actually work. Laying up one of the German positions. The Germans cannot be everywhere at once with their armored support. Black turret cleared out. And heavy mortar cleared out in packs. But for cheap, these T-34s are doing a lot of work for cheap. We do a Stupa in the fields. The service is just... I don't think it's working with the fact they're setting up a 40 HQ here. They need to set up further back, I feel. Setting up so close to the front line is just gonna make it a target. And now they've immobilized one of the IS-2s. Ooh. That's gonna be a big problem. Gonna make it an easy target for the Stuks or the Tiger. Well, the Tiger has less frontal armor than the Panther, so that's a better gun, though. Oh, and the Stuk takes out the IS-2 that's immobilized. Other IS-2 could be a problem here. Yeah, especially with the Tiger around. And others IS-2 taken out. And well, the T-34s have done a pretty good job down here, allowing the southern Soviet flank to advance. But the Stupa is down here now. And clearing out a lot of these S-mines that just drives around wildly. And now the Stupa is too close. Which allows the T-34 to actually get the advantage. The southern Wehrmacht flank just completely collapsed with that T-34 flank. That was actually really well played. I think the... Oh, it's immobilized. That's why the KV-1 cannot help. There are mines everywhere down there. Panzergrenadiers are going to try and save the Stupa. And it looks like they will. Yep. But the Soviets need to get some mine clears to deal with this. And the Soviets have suffered a lot of losses up here. And they're going to keep suffering losses with all this artillery. The Germans have a lot of artillery support today. But this is why I like Eastern Front battles. They just get so hectic and down to the wire, as you can see. Well, it's not really down to the wire in victory points, but a lot of the actions have been really desperate and really hard. I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that it's very hard to get T-34-85s now. I personally think the T-34-85 should always be available to the Soviets, but that's just a personal opinion. Like as a final Tier 4 unit. Because not all Soviet factions actually get anything from the Tier 4 building. So having the T-34-85 always available there would probably be quite handy. Not as took as the first rounds. Of course, again, that's just a personal opinion. Just feels soft to not see T-34-85s in the late game. Instead, we're just seeing a ton of T-34-76s. With more tank riders, with more flamethrowers. But the Soviets have managed to get a lot of ground again. Using a lot of this captured German equipment now. And a lot of mine sweepers going around. You know there's a tiller mine there. And there's just been so much action all over the front line here. Well, T-34's advancing. Oh, good explosive rounds there from the T-34. Because the first misses the area here. Not hitting much. T-34s keep advancing. Don't underestimate the T-34s. It's not a bad tank when it's actually working. Like, I know it's a piece of shit, real life, but it's a cheap tank. And it can get the job done if you're in a good position. And just have a lot of them. They actually took down the Panzer HQ of the Storm Tactics. Now the Tiger tank is going to kill them off one by one, I think. Wait, is there no Panzer Strix? Oh my god, there's no Panzer Strix here to stop the T-54. It's got behind. But how much can it do? Not a lot by the looks of it. Panzer's are arriving again. There it goes. That allows the Soviets to start advancing on the southern flank now. Using the KV-1 to clear the mines. A little Shumin as well, which does not do a lot. That's actually the Wehrmacht artillery position. Stux and Stupa are quickly being rushed down here. More KV-1Es are fighting though. And this is nuts. Stupa did not hit. Yeah, the front line of the KV-1E is just holding up. But mobility is damaged. But the Soviets need to stifle the loss of victory points, or it's over for them. Germans just need to keep the victory points out of Soviet hands. Man, this is getting so intense. But I think the Germans do have this. This is my own personal opinion. With more T-54s are being prepared by the tank division. Oh, driver injured. These KV-1Es are doing a lot of good work. Okay, I should not diss the KV-1E. This is a pretty good tank. Especially just an up-armored KV-1, though. Basically all it is, I believe. Not sure how much more extra armor they get. 30%? That's actually pretty good. No wonder it's holding up so well. And the Stupa is not doing... It's killing all the infantry around. Yeah, I don't think the Soviets have the time. I'm running very low on time here. All the artillery just keeps hitting. We do have another IS-2 coming up. Second Tiger, so lots of Tigers now arriving, and this one's directed to the southern flank. With the KV-1Es. Doesn't actually penetrate with his first shot. Players going ahead so the Germans know what's going on. The KV-1 actually penetrated! Didn't do a lot of damage, but it did penetrate. Smoke shells are being fired, good to see, covering their own retreat. But now the artillery shells are going to start landing. Those artillery shells can do a lot of work. They actually took out the gun on one of them. And now the mines are still a problem down here for the Soviets. Good play from the Germans, just laying mines everywhere, which is kind of what you want to do as the Germans. It's cheaper for you to do, and they're fairly effective at covering your flanks. Germans were very liberal in their mine usage in World War II. Which is why most German units can lay mines, I believe. Because that's kind of intended style. Tiger tank pushing on the northern flank here. E-34 is preparing for some push down here. What are they going to go for? They need to be cautious. And there's still a teller mine on the road, I think. Yeah, the teller mine is still there. There's also a teller mine. Nope, not there. There's a teller mine there. Sometimes hard to spot them. Hansgrenadier is getting overrun there by the T-34 machine gun fire. Yeah, I think this might be the death knell of the Soviets. They've done a lot of good work, though. Taking out the Stuk there. Teller mine takes a 1 T-34, and you see, one teller mine is all it takes. One tell him I can take out an entire T-34. Heat round loader as it tries to get around. The Tiger team is too good at what they do. They probably killed many T-34s before. IS-2 is trying to advance up here, dealing with another Tiger. Some first rockets going in. Not getting some good shrapnel there on the IS-2 this time. I think the Soviets are about to run out of points though. It's been a good fight. But the Soviets just didn't have enough to push through. Looks like the Germans will actually grab a T-34 here. Avoid the Panzer. And people are starting to call the GGs now. Because at this point you cannot turn it around. Yes, the Germans have held the line. This Soviet offensive has not really managed to do much. Oh, that explosive almost destroyed the Tiger! I suppose you should still be wary of the IS-2's explosive rounds if you get in range. It's still a potent gun. With a big shell. Yeah, but the Germans have this, and it's over. I hope you enjoyed this match. I most certainly did. And I'll see you on the next one, everyone. Bye-bye.